Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe with a colleague, a patient, or even in a meeting, and then suddenly your mind, it just goes completely blank. You start panicking inside, the silence gets so loud, and you're not sure how to recover. If you've ever been there, especially if you're a non-native English speaker in healthcare, I'm going to show you exactly how to keep the conversation going so you will never have to deal with those awkward pauses again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frustrated to Fluent. I'm Devin Bruce. I'm the founder and CEO of the English Communication Academy, and we help non-native English speakers in healthcare communicate effectively with their patients, colleagues, and staff. And today I'm going to be talking about those awkward pauses that make you really cringe. I'm going to talk about why they happen, how to handle them, and most importantly, how to keep the conversation flowing naturally, even if you need time to think. And by the end of this video, you will have 5 proven strategies that you can start using today. And all of these will work whether you work in very high pressure situations in healthcare or you're just chatting with a colleague or a friend. All right, let's get to it. First, let's just talk about why these pauses happen in the first place. For non-native English speakers, it's usually one of these 3 reasons. You're translating in your head instead of thinking in English. You're searching for the perfect word because you're afraid of making a mistake, or you're completely overthinking how you sound. You're worried about grammar, punctuation, or tone. Now, here's the truth. Pauses themselves, they're really not that bad. In fact, us native speakers, we use them all the time. What truly matters is the energy of the pause. A short, calm pause makes it look like you're thinking. A long, tense pause makes you feel like you've lost your place. So the goal is to manage those pauses so that way they don't break up the flow of the conversation. All right, now you know why they happen. Let's get into those strategies that you can start using today. The first strategy is to keep those bridge phrases ready to go. This is one of my favorite techniques, and it's the most accessible because it's simple and it works just like that. It's instant. Bridge phrases are short sentences that you can use while you're thinking. It keeps the other person engaged, and it just gives you those few seconds to form your next sentence. Here are some examples. That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second. Interesting. I'd say. Or, you know, that reminds me of when you use these phrases, you're showing that you are completely engaged with the person that you're talking to and you're thoughtful. It's not showing that you're lost. You're also signaling to the other person, I'm here, present, I'm still a part of the conversation. It's a very small shift, but it changes how people perceive your confidence. All right, the second strategy, ask related questions. If you really feel stuck, this one's going to save you. So instead of panicking, just simply ask the other person something related to the topic. When you do this, it does 2 things. It shifts the focus back to them and it gives you time to think. For example, you could say something like, before I answer this, can I ask you how you usually handle this? Or, what was your experience with that kind of patient? In healthcare, this is especially powerful because it shows curiosity, it deepens the conversation, and it buys that extra processing time without creating that awkwardness. All right, tip 3, you can paraphrase or summarize. This tip is subtle, but it's very, very effective. When you need that extra moment to think, repeat back what the other person said, but in your own words. For example, so you're saying the patient's symptoms started 2 days ago? Or, if I understand you correctly, you want to adjust the dosage? This technique, it confirms that you understood. It keeps the conversation flowing. And again, it gives you those extra seconds that you need to prepare your thought. And also, especially in healthcare, repeating or clarifying is not just a conversation skill, it's a safety skill as well. All right, tip number 4, use go-to story snippets. Let me explain. Sometimes the easiest way to keep the conversation going is to share a very quick relevant story, pairing 2 or maybe 3 short examples in advance that you can use in different situations. You could use whatever works for you. It could be a short patient case, like with privacy protected, of course, a funny or interesting experience that you've had, or just a personal example that connects to a topic that you don't feel fully comfortable talking about yet. For instance, you could say something like, "Oh, this reminds me of the case last month when the patient came up with." Not only does it help with those very awkward pauses, but the story, it makes you relatable, it can re-energize the conversation, and it also creates those natural bridges between topics. Okay, finally, tip number 5, practice flow training. This is where you train your brain to think and speak at the same exact time. And here's how you do it. You pick any topic that you want. It could be work related or personal. And then you just talk for 60 to 90 seconds without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes or anything like that. The goal is just to keep talking. Make sure to record yourself so you can listen back and see the spots where you tend to slow down. Another way that you can practice flow training is to talk in very, very, very low pressure situations, like casual group conversations, a hobby that you really enjoy. This gives you the opportunity to practice reacting very quickly. The more you do this, the less likely you're going to freeze under pressure. Now, awkward phrases, they happen to everyone, even us native speakers. But the difference is how you handle them. With bridge phrases, related questions, paraphrasing, stories, and flow training, you can keep the conversation going, and most importantly, you can do it with confidence. If this video helped you, please hit like and subscribe. I post new videos every week to help you build real world fluency in your professional life. Also, please share this with other non-native English speakers in healthcare. I am on a mission to close the language gap. And if you want to go deeper, please join us for our free 5-day challenge. It's specifically designed for people in healthcare to increase their fluency in 5 days. It's very quick, actionable, and it only takes a couple of minutes a day. The link to join us for that is in the description box below. And if you like this video, check these other videos out too. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.